Hey guys, got another deck profile update for you guys today. This time it's on my zombie deck. I went back and changed some of my ratios, especially now that Super Poly's back at 3. Terraforming's at 1, but that's not an issue because this deck, most of the time you only ever ran it at 1 anyway because of Necro Banshee. And I had to change up my extra deck just slightly, but not too much, just so I can, keep the consistency going, just kind of like focus on the power zombies and all that stuff. So, anyway, figured I'd show you what I got this time around. So a lot of decks got hit pretty badly on this ban list, but that being said, this deck is actually a really viable rogue option. And honestly, it didn't really make much of an impact. In fact, it got stronger because Super Poly's at 3, so you have a much higher chance of drawing it. So starting off, I'm going to be playing 2 copies of Doom King Balrog. Only ever want to run this at 2 because if you run it at 3, you're just going to be breaking it out. But he's badass, he's got 2 different effects, 1 negation, 1 banishment effect. As long as a zombie monster activates an effect once per turn, you can activate either one of these 2 effects. So basically you can do 2 different effects a turn, so really great card. I'm only playing 2 copies of Necro Banshee. I was running it at 3, but I bumped down to 2 just to make some room for some other cards. But good thing about it is that it's free discard fodder. If she's in the field or in the graveyard, you can banish it to activate Zombie World directly from the deck. So, pretty good card. 2 Globe Bloom, also because you don't want to break out. So, easy to link Karibo target if you happen to open up with this. Since I'm running Salamangrate Almirage in this deck, it's a free Almirage target as well. So, Globe Bloom is really good. Helps you search out your level 5 or higher zombies, or you can special summon them if Zombie World's out. And of course, to go with zombies just generically really, 3 Solitaire. Just gets you access to your tuners like your Unizombie or Spectral Sword. 1 Spirit Master, if you banish it, get to pop a face-up card. 1 Spectral Sword, I always like to use this to go into Samurai Saga and then to Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon, so really powerful card because if you banish this together with Solitaire, you make that Samurai Saga. Solitaire will bring this card right back and then you can go into Crystal Wing Synchro Dragon. And of course, gotta play Unizombie and zombie decks. This card just dumps your zombies to the grave faster and just helps you manipulate the levels. 2 Gozuki, it's a close enough second in case you don't have Unizombies, so Gozuki is definitely not a bad option. Or if you don't want to play Gozuki, another card I could recommend is Danger Mothman. Danger Mothman also helps this deck substantially if you just want to go for draw power instead. But for me, I think Gozuki is just fine. And then 2 Mizuki. I don't feel the need to put too many Monster Reborn-ish cards to this deck because zombies kind of already bring themselves back regardless. 1 Vampire Furline. I'm sorry, just a generically good zombie too because it gives your monsters a power boost whenever you need them to. And then lastly, for my hand traps, I'm only playing the 3 Ash Blossom just because it's still one of the best hand traps. Alright, so now moving on to spells. Playing 3 Zombie World, of course, turns everything on the field and in the graves into zombies. So, really excellent card. And in and itself, it's really a floodgate if you think about it, and especially if you have Rivalry of the Warlords, you can lock your opponent out to only summoning zombie monsters. 1 Terraforming, of course, it's only at 1. 3 Super Polymerization, we have 3 different targets, and it's a good access to, just get your Dragon Necro out as well. Now keep in mind, if you have Rivalry of the Warlords out, you won't be able to use Super Poly as often as you can, at least until your opponent gets rid of it somehow. So if you don't have, if you already pulled this off before you activate Rivalry of the Warlords, you should be in a good spot regardless. But if your opponent happens to pop Rivalry, this card just acts as insurance, basically. 2 Called by the Grave, just to protect yourself from hand shows, but I think 2 is just fine. You don't really need 3 in this deck. 1 for 1, Foolish Burial, and of course, Monster Reborn, being one of the best spells ever. Sorry, missed a card. And now moving on to the trap cards, I'm running 6. Playing Swallow Slash. This basically acts as Twin Twisters in itself, but it pops anything. And also gives you the added bonus to banishing one of your Sheer Nui cards. So if you go in tangent with Spirit Master, you get to pop potentially 3 cards. So Sheer Nui Swallow Slash, definitely a much needed card to run. And then lastly, Rivalry of the Warlords. Like I say, you mainly want to lock out your opponent from only summoning zombies. And yeah, it just kind of gives you control of the full game, basically. Alright, so now we're moving on to the extra deck. Playing 2 copies of Vampire Sucker. This card is just really good. I know there's some builds that run the Avenged Slayer, but in order to play that, or Avenged Savior, I'm sorry, rather, you need to play like Vendred cards, but in this build I'm not playing any Vendred cards, so that's why I'm not really playing it. But Sucker's just generally good for zombies, because, you know, if a zombie's revived from no matter whose graveyard it is, you get a free draw. Also, this card acts as Stormforth for zombie monsters, so why not? We got one Skill Saga Supremacy. This gives your zombie some added protection, mainly fire monster and synchro monsters as well. So, and some of our deck is kind of both, so yeah. Next, I got Link Karibo as well as Salamangreat Almirage. Almirage is actually really good in this deck. I actually like it because it kind of gives that built-in protection that zombies need, and Almirage is definitely a good choice to run. So if you haven't picked up an Almirage, I definitely recommend getting one. It's not that expensive. So I think it's like the cheapest I've seen is just like maybe $9 or $10. So if you haven't got one, I definitely recommend getting it. Of course, you got a couple Nightmares, Phoenix and Unicorn. So I figured, why not? As for my Synchros, I got Red Eye Zombie Necro Dragon. Just, you know, one of my few OTK enablers, really. Samurai Saga, Crystal Wing, you know, for negation. Shogun Saga, my main OTK win condition. Cypher Lord Omega, you know, just to rip cards out of my opponent's hand. And as for my Super Poly targets, of course I'm playing Dragon Necros, and Zombie will be out. Everything will be zombies, so you can take your opponent's monsters entirely. Starving Venom for, you know, the Thunder Dragon matchup. And for any Guard Dragon matchup entirely, I decided to experiment with Trishula, the Dragon of the Ice Bearer, or Dragon of the Ice Imprisonment, rather. So this is mainly for like any form of Guard Dragon deck, in case if I'm going second and I open up with that Super Poly, and they happen to have like 3 dragons, I take them and then make this guy, he banishes cards, much like the original Trishula does. And of course you have to banish one card on your own, from your own deck, but if you have the Share News, that doesn't even matter anyway. So, but I'm not sure when this card will actually be tournament legal. I don't know if it already is. I could be wrong. So if anyone knows in the comments, let me know. If it isn't tournament legal, then another card you could play is that World Legacy Guard Dragon Fusion Monster, Almarduke, I think it's what it's called, or Mud Dragon of the Swamp, one or the other. But again, I was just experimenting with this card, and it actually does work pretty well against the Guard Dragon matchups. So figured I'd give it a try, and not bad. Alright, so now for the side deck, playing 3 copies of Ghost Bell, another good card, especially if you're going second, because like if you need to try to disrupt your opponent with hand traps and they hit you with that Called by the Grave, this basically counters Called by the Grave. 3 Mind Control. I was going to run Crackdown, but I was like, yeah, I think Mind Control will just be fine, because it's just mainly for going second plays. I got the Black Garden with set rotation to deal with Mystic Mind decks. Even though we might not see them as much anymore, but depending on how people experiment with those decks, we'll have to wait and see. It also hurts Sky Strikers because it locks them out of using their spells, so Black Garden definitely not a bad option. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. I still think back row decks are going to make an impact right now, especially that Solemn Judgment is at 3. I could not believe that. So Eradicator Epidemic Virus definitely a great option. And then lastly, Evenly Matched, just to clear like decks that are just kind of hard to get around, like Dracos or Pendulums. So Evenly Matched definitely will help you out. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys next time.